For a minute there, I thought we weren't going to make it. But we finished strong. We pushed through. We persevered through week 2. And I'm just so happy, refreshed, got my green juice, and I'm ready to get into this episode. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Taylor Marie Fowler, and this is week 2 of Project 52. So last week, we got into the nitty-gritty of like how to plan, take those small steps to get those big victories. Now this week, we want to expound upon that because that's the best way to build upon our foundation, laying brick by brick by brick by brick by brick. So I wanted to start off by being completely transparent. So let's see what happened or has not happened off of our to-do, our goals list. Not even to-do list, but more or less our goals for ourselves. Week 2, it started off like super strong. And then something happened at the end of the week specifically. Like I just felt like with the weather, you know, obviously our bodies are definitely not immune to what is happening outside. Like the environment affects us just the way it affects like the ground, like the sand, like the not sand, but I live near a beach, so that's why I said sand, but like the mud, you know, the grass, all of it, right? So for me, the rain was just like intense. Like I was feeling a ton of emotions all at once. And I also think it might be my time of the month coming up next week. So, or this week. So it was like a combination of those things, but I was feeling like so sad. But then the good thing about having writing down these like goals for yourself, you can kind of go back and be like, oh, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. Even though at that moment, and I'm super dramatic. So like any small inconvenience, it's like the world is like collapsing and caving in around me. So I already knew I was just being a little bit extra, but it definitely felt very strong in that moment because when you look at everything you wrote down on paper, it's not as bad as you think. There are 2 things that I really wanted to happen in this past week, and unfortunately they didn't happen in that week, and that's okay. So that would have been the callback from at least 1 or 2 of the feature film auditions that I had. I hadn't heard back from either one of them. I know that one of them is starting to shoot in the next couple weeks, so the chances of me getting that part are probably slim to none, but hey, you know, stranger things have happened. And the other one doesn't start until February, but that was a little bit meatier of a part, so it possibly could have been already cast, and that's no biggie because we're gonna keep pushing. I was able to definitely crush it at work. I was able to stay on top of my tasks. I was able to work in a timely manner, so that was also really helpful. It got a bit overwhelming. I didn't realize there was a ton on my plate, but you know, I'm just welcoming, like, clearly I must be doing something right, to the point where it's like I'm asking more of you, so that was pretty good. I did not, however, work out a minimum of 3 times. I think I got 2, which, hey, 2 was better than none. Definitely saunaed more than twice, so I beat that, crushed it out the park. I didn't get to meditate 3 times, but I did do 1. Took some baths, oh my God, some bomb baths, like definitely was able to calm myself down. Create some content for my sister channel with my sister. That was pretty cool. I read a partial script. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't read a full script, but I was able to get some commercial auditions, but I also had some theatrical auditions as well. So I read sides, if that counts. I was able to read something. But the takeaway from this was like, I did not get the 2 that I wanted like so much. Like that would have in years past, that probably would have been what was making me sad. What actually was having me down was like me feeling like that feeling of being uncomfortable, right? It shows up in different ways. So I do know that I am still hungry for what I have set out for my life. It was just the emotions of being uncomfortable. It wasn't necessarily like me being defeated. It's from like not getting these parts, because this industry, for one, is, I could go on and on and on. Like I could make a separate video about the acting industry, entertainment in general industry. But when you're subjected to the decisions of others, where your performance, you could have a good performance or it could be bad. Like, let's be honest, I've definitely had bad performances, bad auditions. Like, we're not immune to having an off day. When 99% of how you are chosen is out of your hands, the 1% you have control over is like the audition itself, right? But everything else, excuse me, everything else is literally up to chance. All of these like what ifs and like all these like unknowns, that stuff no longer bothers me because I know that I could obsess over it and I could go on and on and on and on and on about it. Like, just let it go, move on. The only thing you can do is, you know, have other auditions, do other things, go have fun, like do something that makes you happy versus sitting around and wondering why that part didn't go to you or if the casting director likes you. It's a lot of unnecessary stress and anxiety that you put on yourself. I've already like started thinking about what I want to do for the third week based on the results I got this week, and just seeing how I progress and grow and setting little benchmarks for that. I listened to this YouTube video. Luckily, like a friend of mine sent me this. Sorry, I just blanked. I have to, my sister always says, stop calling people your friends. And that really just flew in my head as soon as I said friend. This person I know who's also an actor sent me this YouTube video. Never tell anybody your dreams or your goals. And at first I read it and I was like, because I had posted something about making a pretty bold statement. I'm gonna say it here too. I am wanting 2023 to be the year that I transition from being Taylor, the actor who has a full-time job, to Taylor Marie Fowler, the actor who's working full-time acting. Like that's really what I want. That is in my fiber. That is literally all I'm thinking about for 2023. The video was actually saying, like, don't tell people who don't dream or don't plan your dreams, because those are not the people you need to surround yourself with. Do tell the people who understand how important goal setting is, how important planning is, how important dreaming is. After listening to it, I was so amped up, and it was like something I needed. And just listening to it had me like, man, you really can do anything you put your mind to. Like, I was saying, you really can do anything if you put your mind to it, even to the minute. Like, I'm talking not to the minute per se, but literally to your day. Like, how is today going to affect and change you for like 2 years down the road? Like, how, like, it is important. Like, today is the most important day right now, and then tomorrow will be the most important day, but you will build upon it. For every goal that you have, for every goal that you want to achieve, you need to write it out. You also need to know, like, how are you going to get there? Who are you going to surround yourself with to help elevate you there? Write down your obstacles. Like, a lot of times, like, even with me in writing my goals in the first few weeks, I didn't think about like the obstacles or what could possibly be holding me back or could hold me back from achieving this goal or this dream I have. I didn't think about that. Acting has taught me there's always going to be obstacles. There's always going to be internal obstacles, which is what you are putting yourself, so like fear and all that, and then there's going to be external things that you can't control that may happen to you. For example, if you're riding a bike and you're afraid of getting on the bike and pedaling without cart or training wheels, that would be an internal. And if you are a person that can ride a bike, but then somebody comes and stands in front of you holding the handlebars and you can't go anywhere, that would technically be like, in the most layman's terms way, of an external obstacle. It applies to setting your goals as well. Like, what could be some internal things holding you back and what could be an external obstacle that could hold you back. And I was just like, man, like, my life is literally like combining itself into one, like my personal, professional, and it's like literally milking itself together. And I'm just like, or yoking itself together. This is exactly what I needed, because I really want to make this as intentional as possible when it comes to this, because I know that my dream of transitioning out of my job is going to take a lot of dedication, a lot of concentration, a lot of sacrifice, but I'm just gonna go out on faith. Learning these, having these aha moments in my weeks so far are literally gonna help me throughout the rest of this year. And I'm so blessed that I'm able to like start week 2, or in week 2, I should say, to like have this kind of boost. God was sending me these little small nudges of like, hey, I heard what you wanted. Listen to this. Pay attention to this. Every single moment in your life has a purpose. And it's not just some like fly by the night random thing that happens to you. It's intentional. Like your life, if you live it intentionally, certain things that happen to you majority of things that happen to you should be intentional. Now we know that there are things that happen unintentionally that you would probably not want to happen, but you learn a lesson from that, and then you realize like, oh, well, okay, maybe that was after all intentional because I learned X, Y, and Z from it. I want to wake up tomorrow and I'm gonna, no matter what, do something every day to better myself as a human being, as an artist, as a person with a full-time job, as a business owner as well. Like, I'm going to figure out a way in which I can be the most effective. I'm so happy. Those are my words for week 2. And I want to just take a little time to close my eyes. If you want to join, it's like a nice little 2-3 minute meditation, nothing too crazy, but just to kind of like welcome these thoughts of like, I'm going to move intentionally, I'm going to move intentionally this week. I'm going to move with love, and I'm going to move with a little bit of urgency too. So if you're ready, let's go ahead and find, your feet flat on the ground, or maybe you have crossed legs. Start to relax, close the eyes. Take a couple inhales and exhales. Shrug the shoulders up towards the ears. And exhale, drop the shoulders back behind you. Do that one more time. Inhale, shoulders up. Exhale, drop the shoulders back behind you. Now the palms may be facing down on the tops of the thighs for groundedness. Maybe the palms are flipped up towards the sky and receiving. Relaxing the forehead, the jaw, the mouth, the throat. And if you want to repeat this, you can. Saying, I am going to move with intention this week. I'm going to lead with love. I'm going to have a sense of urgency towards my goals. I am going to be intentional. I'm going to lead with love. I'm going to move with urgency towards my goals. If you'd like to seal in a new practice, your little mini meditation, bring the hands to prayer, the thumbs to the third eye. Namaste. That is all. I will see you guys for week 3 of 52-week project. Bye.